All right. For those of you that I haven't met yet, my name's Erica. I am a yoga instructor here in Austin, Texas, and I offer donation-based virtual and in-person classes. So the virtual ones is obviously this. We're here on Zoom practicing together. And then our next outdoor class will actually be a power yoga class this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. at Zilker. So if you're local to Austin, you're welcome to join us. The theme around today's class is just being present with who you are and where you are at today. So a lot of just focusing inward, and we're going to work physically through some like side stretching, side lengthening, as well as through some twists, abdominal twists. So a lot of lengthening through this area, and then using that same process of lengthening as we're thinking about our twists. So yeah, that's a little bit about what to expect from today's class. As always, if there's something that doesn't serve you today, something that doesn't feel good or feel right with your body, skip it, move on, take a child's pose. If you want to lay in Shavasana and listen to me talk for the next hour, you're more than welcome to do so. And then if you did want to play the accompanying music that I sent, you can go ahead and start that now. And then we'll just begin in a lying position on your back. So go ahead and lie down on your back, bring your palms down on the mat by your side. You can close your eyes and just begin to notice your breath. Maybe taking a mental scan. Physically, how you're feeling from your toes, through your heart center, up to your mind. Maybe noticing mentally or emotionally where you're at in this moment. The little moments throughout the day that got you to here. Knowing that all of that will be there when we end our practice today together. So giving yourself the next hour, this time on your mat, to just be present with who you are at this moment, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Giving yourself just room to be. Noticing the way your breath feels, inhaling, filling your lungs. Gently exhaling. And on your next inhale, just reaching your arms up and back behind you. So you're lying down in a full body stretch. So your legs are stretched out long, your arms are stretched out above your head. Maybe beginning to roll your ankles and your toes. Rolling your wrists around one direction, and then the other. And on your next inhale, growing really long, so reaching out, stretching your fingers nice and long, flexing your toes back towards your face, pulling your kneecaps up into your quads, engaging your glutes. And on your exhale, letting it all go, melting into the mat. One more time on your inhale, growing really long, stretching through your spine, reaching those fingers out, energy shooting out your fingers, out your heels. And on your exhale, letting it all go. Inhale, growing a little bit longer. And on your exhale, hugging your knees into your chest. So pulling your knees into your chest. You can rock gently side to side, maybe forward and back. And then if it's comfortable for you, coming to happy baby. So dropping your knees back towards your armpits, maybe grabbing the outside edge of your feet, or wrapping your peace fingers around your big toes. Opening into those hips. You can continue to rock side to side, maybe straighten one leg and then the other. And then hugging your knees into your chest, just begin to rock a little bit forward and back. So you can bring them behind your thighs, your hands, and then slowly but surely just rock your way up to a seated position. So when you get all the way up to a seated position, you can either, rock your way up or roll to one side and lift yourself up if that's easier. When you're here in this seated position, just on an inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, bringing your palms to touch. Exhale, bring those hands to heart center. You can close your eyes if you'd like, and we'll move just through a breathing exercise together. So on your inhale, taking your biggest breath in yet, starting from your belly, fill your lungs all the way up to your throat. Exhale, pressing the air out your mouth. One more time, inhale, breathing in, filling your belly, filling your lungs. Exhale, letting it go out your mouth. One more time, biggest breath yet. Breathing in. This time, breathe out your nose, keeping your lips closed. Using that same force of pressure as you breathe out your nose. That's your Ujjayi breath. That's your guide for the next practice. So breathing in one more time. And exhaling out your nose. We'll inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing your hands through heart center, maybe fluttering your eyes open. And then if your legs are crossed, just uncrossing your legs so that your knees are bent in front of you and your soles of your feet are on the ground. You can bring the palms of your hands just behind your hips. And then we'll just begin to do a windshield wiper motion. So dropping your legs to the left, coming through center, and dropping them to the right. Maybe mirroring this with your breath on your exhales, dropping to one side. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, dropping to the other. Doing this at your own pace. And then after your next set, going from left to right, come back to center, and this time on your exhale, you're gonna drop your shins over, this time going all the way onto your shins, if you can see me, and inhale, stretch that arm up, lifting your hips up, weight going into the shins, maybe dropping your head back if that feels good. On your inhale, come back through center. Exhale, we're gonna press to the opposite side. Again, weight goes into those shins, hips lift, arm stretches back, maybe head goes back. Inhale, coming through center. One more time on each side. Exhale, pressing into the shins, lifting up on the left side. Arm stretches nice and long, really feeling that good side stretch. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, pressing onto the right side, onto those shins, lifting the hips up, stretching back. All right, on your inhale, you're gonna come back through center. And if you're still here on your shins, you're just gonna walk your weight around so that you're in a tabletop position. So I'm gonna rotate so you can see me a little bit better. And you're in this tabletop position and your wrists are below your elbows, knees are below your hips, and we'll just move through some cat-cow posture. So on your inhale, tilting your pelvis up towards the sky, chest pulls down to the mat, gaze is lifted. Exhale, tucking your pelvis, arching your back. Inhale, lifting those hips towards the sky, chest pulls down to the mat, gaze is lifted. Exhale, pelvis tilts, back arches. Doing a few more of these at your own pace with your own breath. Really warming up your spine, bringing some movement, maybe circling around slightly, bringing a little movement into your wrists and your hips, whatever feels good. And then finding a neutral spine back in center. On your inhale, you're gonna stretch that right leg back. So reaching that right leg back behind you, flex the toes, and on your inhale, maybe reaching the left hand up and forward. Really stretching nice and long, engaging through the core. Exhale, release the left hand down, and keeping that right leg lifted, you're gonna stretch it over to the left side. So you're crossing over that left foot, placing it on the ground, and then just gazing gently over that left shoulder. A little bit of a side stretch on the right, compression on the left. On your inhale, lifting that right leg back up, And on your exhale, you're gonna stretch it all the way so it's going straight out from your hip and set it on the ground. So you're here, right leg is stretching directly out, and on your inhale, you're gonna reach that right arm up towards the sky. So you're in kind of this twisted bridge posture, or gate posture, sorry. On your next exhale, bringing that right hand back down, you're gonna lift the right leg up and back, and then bring it back to tabletop. On your next inhale, stretching that left leg back, right arm lifts, nice and long, straight spine, engage core. Inhale, bringing that right hand back down to the mat, and then stretching that left leg over towards the right side so that it meets the ground. On your next inhale, you're gonna just look gently over that right shoulder, back towards that left leg. On your inhale, lifting that leg back up through center, rotating it all the way outside that left hip, placing it on the ground. And on your next inhale, reaching that left hand up towards the sky. All right, on your next exhale, bringing that left hand back down. The left leg lifts, reaches back, comes back down to that tabletop. And then we're gonna tuck our back toes. And on your inhale, you're gonna lift your knees just a couple inches off the mat. So you're in this hover tabletop position. Inhale here. And on your exhale, keeping your knees bent, you're gonna slowly shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Keeping your knees nice and bent. Maybe alternating, straightening one leg and then the other. First downward dog of the day, whatever feels good. And as you're here in this downward dog, really thinking of spreading your palms nice and wide, shoulders rotating in so that your armpits are rotating down towards the mat. Nice broad space in between your shoulder blades. And then your belly button is lifting in and up, like so in toward your spine, and up as almost if you want to pull it up into your rib cage. All right, inhale here. And on your exhale, you can put a slight bend into your knees if you need, and you're just gonna slowly, gently walk your hands back towards your feet into a ragdoll pose. So keeping your knees nice and bent so that your chest is almost all the way on your thighs. Forward fold, you're releasing your head, and you can grab opposite elbows. So as you're hanging there, really relaxing the back of your neck, maybe rocking side to side. All right, and keeping your knees bent, you're just gonna slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. So you're here on the back of your mat, and on your inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Back up a little bit so you can see me. Your hands are all the way up, and then taking your right hand, just grab your left wrist. Inhale, grow nice and tall, and on your exhale, just bend gently over to the right side. Don't need to go too deep here, thinking more of lengthening than of bending. All right, on an inhale, come back to center. Switch the grip of your hands to your left hand is gripping your right wrist. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, bending over to the left side. All right, on your inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, you're gonna bring your hands down to mountain pose. And then on your inhale, you're gonna bend your knees, send your hips back to chair pose. Inhale here, gaze is lifted, arms are lifted. And on your exhale, you're gonna straighten your legs, forward fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. So palms can meet your shins, can meet a flat back. And on your exhale, you're gonna walk your hands back all the way out to a plank pose. So if you need to step your feet back, that's all right. We're gonna hold here for 2 breaths. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, just lift your hips up and back to downward dog. We're gonna hold our downward dog for 2 to 3 breaths. If you need to pedal your feet out, great. If you need to take a child's pose, we're gonna go through that sequence of moving up to the side stretch through chair pose, back down to plank 2 more times. Really get our bodies nice and warmed up before we move into a flow sequence that we'll build upon. So after that, we'll do a flow series 3 times through that each time we'll add a few postures too. So when you're ready, inhale in your downward dog, and on your exhale, walk your hands all the way back to your forward fold. Inhale, put a bend to your knees, roll all the way up, arms come up to meet each other. On your exhale, you're just gonna grab that right hand around the left wrist, bend over that right side. Inhale, come back to the center, switch your grip. Exhale, bending over to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down to mountain pose. On your inhale, sending your hips back to chair pose. Holding here on your inhale, gaze is lifted. Exhale, legs straight and forward fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. And on your exhale, you're gonna bend your knees, walk yourself all the way out to plank pose. Nice long plank. Core is engaged, hips are lifted, so you wanna make sure those aren't sagging, but they're nice and lifted. And you're also lifting through those shoulders, so you're not bending, dipping into your shoulders, but nice and strong, lifting up through them. One more breath in. On your exhale, hips lift up and back to downward dog. Inhale here. And on your exhale, you're gonna walk your hands back, keeping your knees nice and bent if you need to that forward fold. On your next inhale, putting a bend into your knees, rolling up. Arms lift, come to meet each other. Right hand grips left wrist. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, bending over to the right side. Maybe this time your gaze lifts up and underneath that left armpit. On your inhale, coming back up through center. Switching the grip. Exhale, bending over to the left. Again, maybe your gaze goes up and under. Inhale, coming up through center. On your exhale, hands come down to mountain pose. Inhale, hips send back, chair pose. We'll hold here for 2 full cycles of breath. Making sure your weight is equally distributed, maybe lifting your toes up off the mat, and making sure you can see your toes. Your knees aren't going too far forward, but your hips are sending back. Nice open chest, gaze lifted. One more inhale. On your exhale, legs straight and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. One more time on your exhale, walking your hands all the way out to plank. Inhaling here. Full exhale. One more inhale in. And on your exhale, your hips lift up and back to downward dog. All right, we're gonna move into our flow sequence from here. So on your inhale, lift that right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pull that knee towards your chest, towards your nose, and then you're gonna step it up between your hands. So you're in a high crescent lunge up here. So keeping that back heel lifted, energy going out that back heel. On your inhale, coming up to high crescent lunge. On your exhale, you're gonna drop that back knee all the way down to the mat. Release the toes. Inhale, grow nice and tall. On your exhale, bring your arms to cactus. So drawing your shoulders, your elbows down and back, opening that chest, opening the gaze up towards the sky. On your inhale, coming back up, you're gonna bring those palms back down towards the mat. And then on your inhale, you're gonna lift that right hand up towards the sky. So you're gonna twist. From here, you're gonna tuck into those back toes and maintaining your twist, you're just gonna lift that back knee. So you're in a high lunge twist. All right, on your next inhale, You're gonna use that momentum from your breath, from your core, and you're gonna move up to running man. So that right arm reaches back, left arm reaches forward, still in your twist. So if you were to look at me, I'm like this, still in my twist, but in that high crescent lunge. All right, inhale here. On your next exhale, cycle that left arm back and open to warrior two. Front knee directly over that front ankle. Energy going up both hands equally. Shoulders directly over your hips. Inhale here. And on your exhale, cycle those hands down. And we're gonna step that right foot back to high plank. So from here, you have multiple options. You can lift your hips up and back to down dog. You can drop your knees and flow through, or you can move through chaturanga. So on your inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. So as we move through this flow sequence, anytime that I say flow through, meet in downward dog, you have the option to move through chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward dog. Again, you can always drop your knees, lower knees, chin, or knees, chin, chest, come to cobra, downward dog. You can move straight to downward dog, you can go to child's pose, whatever you need as we move in between flows. So doing that whole sequence on the left side. On your next inhale, stretch your left leg up towards the sky. On your inhale, pulling that knee towards your chest, towards your nose, stepping that foot up in between the hands. And again, you're in a high crescent lunge. So energy going out that back ankle, front knee directly over the front ankle. On your inhale, stretching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, dropping that back knee down, releasing the toes. Inhale, grow a little taller. Exhale, coming into the cactus. So elbows bend back, really squeezing between your shoulder blades. Shoulders are moving away from the ears. Inhale, stretching back up. Exhale, your hands frame that front foot. On your next inhale, stretching that left arm up towards the sky in a twist. Tucking into those back toes. On your exhale, lifting that back knee. Hold here. And again, moving into that running man posture. On your next inhale, using your core, you're gonna cycle that left arm back, right arm comes forward. So you're still in your twist, right arm's forward, left arm's back. Nice strength building posture here. Inhale, and on your exhale, cycling those arms back and open to warrior two. So your left knee is forward, directly over that left ankle, and then your knees are always tracking out towards that outside pinky. So you wanna make sure your knees not collapsing in, but really rotating that thigh open and out. One more inhale here. On your exhale, framing that front foot, stepping the left foot back, and then you have the option to flow through, or we'll meet in downward dog. So that's our core flow sequence. We're gonna do that 2 more times, all the way through, and each time we'll add a little bit to it, and I'll offer some modifications as we go as well. So modifications are there if you want to. Again, totally optional, so do what feels good for you today. So on our next inhale, lifting that right leg up towards the sky, or ceiling, I guess, if you're inside. Exhale, pulling your knee to chest, knee to nose, stepping that right foot forward. Keeping that back knee lifted again on your inhale, reaching up towards the sky. Nice, energizing, high crescent lunge. Inhale here, and on your exhale, dropping that back knee, releasing the back toes. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, elbows pull down towards your sides. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Again, squeezing those shoulder blades back, pressing through that front left hip. All right, inhale, coming back up. Exhale, frame that front foot, tuck the back toes. And on your inhale, stretching that right arm up towards the sky in the twist. Exhale here. On your next inhale, moving to running man, using your core to lift you up as your right arm goes back, left arm goes forward. Inhale here. On your next exhale, you're going to open to warrior two. So we've been to all those postures before. Feels a little different every time we approach them. Maybe you're a little more warmed up now. Maybe you're a little more tired. Maybe your breath is a little more labored. Just taking a moment to notice where you're at, how you feel in this moment. Knowing that yoga is not a workout, it's a work in. It's not about what you're doing in warrior two, it's about who you are in this posture. So on your inhale, reach forward. On your exhale, straightening that front leg, you can bring the left hand to the back thigh or calf, maybe grab it behind your back, and then reach that right arm up towards the sky. Reverse triangle. On your inhale, coming back up. Exhale, putting a bend to that front knee, warrior two. And then cycling that front arm back up, you're back in your high crescent lunge. On your exhale, you're gonna drop that back knee. We've been here before. And then this time you're gonna bring both hands inside the right leg. So walk your right leg out slightly towards the outside edge of your mat, and then give it about a 45-degree angle opening. So inhale here, really pressing into that front left hip. On your exhale, we're gonna shift our weight back, straightening that front leg. You can flex those right toes back towards you, keeping a nice broad chest and a flat back here. You don't need to round over too much if that's not comfortable. And then your inhale, putting a bend back into that knee, and then bringing both hands back inside. We're gonna move into lizard pose for a few breaths. So if this is challenging or this is uncomfortable for you, stay here. You're always welcome to come down to your elbows. Or if you brought a block or a pillow, you can always bring your elbows to the block. That's typically the most comfortable position for me. A little bit of a deeper stretch, but with a modification. If you'd like a more active pose, you can always lift that back knee. We'll hold here for 3 more breaths. One of the deepest hip opening postures we can do. It's so good for you. All right, on your next inhale, if you did use a block or you came down to your elbows, just come back up to your hands, walk that right foot back in and frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, step that right foot back to high plank, and you have the option to flow through or we'll meet in downward dog. Moving directly onto the left side, on your inhale, stretch that left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pull that knee into the chest to the nose, stepping forward in that high crescent lunge. On your inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, dropping that back knee. Inhale here, growing nice and tall. And on your exhale, coming to those cactus arms, nice open chest. Again, pulling those shoulder blades together back there, fingers spread nice and wide. On your inhale, reaching back up. Exhale, framing that front foot. This time we're gonna lift directly up, just like the other side. And inhale, reaching that left hand up towards the sky. Exhale here, and on your next inhale, moving to that running man. So left hand goes back, right hand goes forward. Using the equal parts energy, shooting out that front leg, out that back heel, in this twist. Inhale here, and on your exhale, cycling those arms up and open to warrior two. Taking a moment to pause here, reconnect with your breath. Nice full breath in your belly, in your lungs. Exhale, letting it all go, nice cleansing breath. All right, on your inhale, reach forward. Exhale, straightening that front leg. Left hand goes to the ceiling. Right hand goes back, maybe gently touching the back of your leg or wrapping behind your lower back. On an inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, it then goes into that front knee. Inhale here. On your exhale, cycling those hands down to frame the front foot. Oops, sorry, your arm should be up, sorry, high crescent lunge. Exhale, dropping that back knee down, here we go. Releasing those back toes, you're gonna bring the hands inside that left foot. Walk that left foot out to the edge of your mat so that it's at about a 45-degree angle. Inhale here, and on your exhale, shift those hips back. Front foot can flex back. Nice deep hamstring stretch. Knowing yoga is all about balance, so equal parts strength and equal parts flexibility. That those two work in tandem. So on your inhale, walking back forward, we're gonna move into lizard. So again, keeping that foot out at a 45, you can stay here on your palms, maybe come down to your elbows, or again, if you've got a block, pillow, blanket, anything like that, you can set it here and come down to your elbows on that. We'll hold here for about 4 more breaths. Really breathing into that left side hip. Letting any of that tension go that builds up as we sit all day. Right, on your next inhale, if you're down on your elbows, coming back up to your hands, moving your block or pillow, whatever you've got, and then walk that foot back in towards center, framing the front foot, lifting that back knee. We're gonna step back to high plank, and you have the option to meet us in downward dog or to flow through. We'll hold here in downward dog for about 5 breaths. So if you need a break, take a child's pose, take a moment to pause, reconnect with your breath. We're gonna do that flow one more time on the right and on the left together. So letting go of the first one, letting go of the second one, knowing you get to approach each posture one more time, and then we get to move on to some more cool down. Taking a few nice cleansing breaths, so breathing in your nose. 2, 3, and 4. Exhale, letting it all go. 2, 3, 4. All right, if you're in child's pose, coming back to downward dog as we begin to move into our third time through this flow. So on your inhale, stretching that right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pulling your knee into your chest, stepping that front foot in between those front hands. You're in a high crescent lunge. Inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, dropping that back knee, releasing the back toes. Inhale, grow nice and tall, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pulling those elbows down toward your side in cactus. Palms spread really nice and wide. Chest and gaze are lifted. This time, if you'd like, interlacing your palms behind your low back. And then bringing your palms to a fist so that the palms of your hands are touching, stretching them down and back, and maybe taking a slight back bend. All right, if you took the bind, release it, and then frame that front foot. Lift that back knee up, and on your inhale, stretching that right hand up towards the sky hand twist. This time, if you'd like to take the bind, reaching that right hand back behind that lower back. Back of your hand meets your low back or your hip. Inhale, reaching that right hand back up. Exhale here. And on your next inhale, coming up to running man. So left hand is forward, right hand is back. And this time, if you'd like to challenge yourself on your inhale, maybe reaching that right hand back, left hand up towards the sky. So you're still in a twist. All right, coming back to running man. On your inhale, on your exhale, opening up to warrior two. Again, taking a moment to pause here. We know this pose. This is familiar. Inhale, reach those shoulders up. Exhale, rolling them back. Nice long cleansing breath here. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, straightening into that front leg, reaching up towards the sky. Giving that front quad a break. Might be feeling it by now. On your inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, putting a bend into that front knee. And then on your inhale, bringing that left hand forward as you cycle up on those back toes to high crescent lunge. Exhale, bending that knee, releasing the toes, and then bringing those hands in between that front right knee. Again, walking that foot out slightly to the edge of your mat. Inhale here. And on your exhale, shifting back, straightening that front leg, flexing the toes back towards your face. This time, if you'd like, you can bring that forehead down towards the knee, just to get a knee to forehead, knee to nose connection. All right, on your inhale, shifting back forward. And then on your exhale, we're gonna move back into lizard pose. So you can come down to your elbows. Maybe you feel a little more open this time. I always love revisiting this posture because the first time around, I always feel so tight. And then the second time, I feel like I can breathe a little bit in here. All right, on your next inhale, walking your hands back up. And this time you're gonna walk your foot back in, but keep your hands on the inside of that right foot. So you're gonna lift in those back toes, and you're gonna cycle up and open over that left shoulder. So your right knee's bent, your left foot is flexed here in Skandasana. You can bring your hands to your heart center if that's comfortable, or you can bring them just down to the ground in front of you if you need it for balance. From here, we're just gonna walk ourselves over to the other side, or if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can always do it without your hands. Bending into that left knee, right toes flex. Again, trying to ground through that heel, so you're not lifted up on those bottom toes, but really grounding through that left heel. Again, if you're up here, totally great, just keep that foot grounded. Nice long spine, so you're not curving over, hunching over. All right, on your next inhale, coming back, putting a bend into that right knee, left foot flexes. And then walking yourself back up to that high lunge. All right, so your palms are framing that front foot, back toes are lifted. On your inhale, stretching that right leg back, you're here in high plank. We're gonna hold here for our inhale, and if you'd like to flow through, exhale, lower halfway, elbows going back. Inhale, lifting to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward dog. Knowing that's your last time doing that sequence on the right side. So breathing that in. Exhale out your mouth, letting it go. And knowing we get to approach all of it one more time on the left before we begin to do some more cool down static stretching. So on your inhale, when you're ready, stretching that left leg up towards the sky. Inhale, pulling that knee in towards the chest, in towards your nose, and then stepping that left foot forward. Inhale, reaching the arms up towards the sky, high crescent lunge. Maybe your left thigh's feeling it after all these lunges. Exhale, dropping that back knee down, releasing those back toes. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, putting a bend into the elbows, coming to cactus. If you took the bind on the other side, interlacing your hands the awkward way, the opposite way that you did the first time, if you remember, and bringing your palms to touch. And on your inhale, stretching your arms out nice and straight, lifting your gaze and your chest up towards the ceiling, or maybe just the crack where the ceiling meets the wall. All right, on your inhale, release. Framing that front foot, tucking those back toes, lifting the back knee. And on your next inhale, stretching that left arm up towards the sky. If you took the bind on the other side, turning that palm around, and then bringing the back of the hand to that lower back or hip in a half bind. Inhale, reaching that hand back up towards the ceiling. Exhale here. And on your next inhale, coming back up to that running man. Last time here, I promise. If you like, maybe shifting that left hand back, right arm up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze lifts. Exhale, coming back out to running man. Inhale here. And on your exhale, opening to warrior two. Again, taking a nice cleansing breath here. Inhale, lift those shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, pressing them down and back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, straightening into that front leg, giving that thigh a nice little break, reaching that left arm up towards the sky. Gaze lifts. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, putting a bend into that knee. Last warrior two. On your inhale, cycling that right arm through, coming to a high crescent lunge. Exhale, bending into that back knee, releasing the toes, bringing both hands inside the left foot. You're just gonna walk, again, that foot out about to the edge of your mat, and then your toes will be at about a 45-degree angle. So inhale here. On your exhale, shifting your hips back, straightening into that front leg. And then if you'd like, maybe bring your forehead or your knee or your nose down to your knee. Maybe putting a bend in that knee just to get the connection. All right, on your inhale, walking back forward. And then finding your version of lizard. So staying here, maybe walking your elbows down this time, and we'll hold here for a few breaths. Maybe noticing any changes between this time and the last time. Two more breaths here. Nice full breaths in. Exhale, breathing a little bit of space into that left side hip. All right, and on your next inhale, bringing weight back into those palms, walking that left foot back in, and then walking yourself, lifting those back toes up and over to open over that right shoulder. So you have a bend in that left knee, right toes are flexed back towards you. Again, you can bring your hands to heart center or keep them on the ground. Both are equally as good. On your inhale, we're gonna lift up and over to the other side. So putting a bend into that right knee, left toes flex back towards your face. All right, inhale, walking yourself one more time back up and over, and then walking your hands to frame that front foot. So lifting up on those back toes. Inhale here, stepping that left foot back to meet the right. And if you like, taking your last opportunity to flow through. So inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, elbows come straight back. Inhale, lifting to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward dog. All right, from here, put a bend into your knees. Bring them to the width of your mat. Bring your toes together to kiss. Send your hips back to child's pose. Arms are reached forward. Taking a moment to pause. Feel any differences in your body and your hips. Taking a nice big breath in. Fill your belly, fill your lungs all the way up so you feel like your shoulders are even filled with air. And on your exhale, let it go out your mouth. All right, you're here in child's pose, and when you're ready, you're just gonna shift forward to tabletop position. So from here, you're just gonna bring that right knee up towards the right elbow, and then drop it down behind it. So left leg is stretched out long behind me, right knee's behind right elbow, and then your right ankle is coming towards that left wrist. So you're here in pigeon pose. Hips are nice and square, so make sure you're not sinking too far into one side or the other, but nice and square. And then you can stay here, or you have the option to come down to your elbows, maybe if you have a block resting your forehead on it, or if you'd like to take sleeping pigeon, reaching those arms out long and bringing your forehead to the mat. If you have any knee issues or any contraindications, your hips or your knees, you can always flip over and take a figure 4 stretch as well. If this doesn't serve you or if you have any issues going with your knees, just be careful. We love our knees. Really thinking of directing your breath into that right hip. One more breath in here. Exhale fully. And on your inhale, coming back up to your hands, if you are on your elbows or lying down, tucking into those back toes, you're just gonna lift up and back to plank, and then coming down to tabletop. So pulling that left knee towards the left elbow and then behind the left wrist, stretching that right leg out long. We're just gonna go to the opposite side. So again, left knee is behind your left wrist, and then your left ankle's tracking somewhere behind your right wrist. And then whatever you took on the other side, coming down to your elbows, maybe using your block or a pillow underneath your forehead. Again, your hips are nice and square here, so you're not sinking into one side or the other, really evenly distributing your weight. And we'll just hold here, about 10 breaths. As we try to really just breathe and focus into this posture, not fidgeting too much. It can be really uncomfortable and it's easy to fidget. So trying to bring a sense of stillness to the pose, maybe even a sense of surrender. One more breath here. Exhale fully. And on your next inhale, walking back up to your hands. And this time we're just gonna shift the weight into that left hip and swing the right foot around to meet the left. So if you're sitting here, you're just gonna stretch those legs out in front of you so they're coming straight out, and then flex your toes back towards your face. We're gonna move into a seated forward fold. So on your inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing those fingertips straight out from your shoulders. So you're sitting here nice and tall. And if this is difficult to sit up nice and tall, just stay here, that's great. You can even bring your fingertips down towards the ground to help lift. Or if this is comfortable, inhale here, and on your exhale, just shift slightly forward, maybe an inch. Keeping a nice straight spine. Inhale, lengthen. On your next exhale, maybe moving just another inch forward. Inhale here. And on your exhale, if you'd like to fold completely over, you're welcome to do so. We'll hold there just for a few breaths. All right, on your next exhale, slowly cat arching your back all the way up to seated position. And then put a bend into your knees. And then just grab behind your thighs and then cat tilt your back all the way down so that you're lying on the mat. All right, from here, bring your knees in slightly so that your fingertips maybe graze the back of your heels and that your heels are coming out from out from your hip sockets, maybe just a hair wider. And then from here, we're gonna move into bridge posture. So really grounding through all four corners of your feet. On your inhale, tuck that pelvis first. So tuck through your pelvis, just slightly, not too much, but just a little. And then inhale, lift those hips up towards the sky. Your hands can press into the mat below you. Inhale here. And on your exhale, lowering nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, all the way down until your hips meet the mat. We're going to do that 2 more times. So on your inhale, slightly tucking your pelvis first, lifting through your hips, chest up towards the ceiling, knees making sure they're not falling out or turning too far in, staying nice and grounded through all four corners of your feet. Inhale, and on your exhale, nice and slow, rolling down all the way to the mat. One more time. Inhale, tucking into that pelvis, lifting your hips up towards the sky. This time, if you like, maybe interlacing your fingers underneath your hips. And then if you took the bind, releasing, exhale, rolling down nice and slow. Inhale here, and then on your exhale, just dropping your knees from side to side in a windshield wiper motion. Not thinking about it too much, just any kind of organic movement that feels good, maybe moving quick, maybe going nice and slow, releasing any tension that may be built up in those hips. And then coming to center, on your next exhale, hug those knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. Inhale here, and on your exhale, stretch that left leg down towards the mat. So pulling that right knee, right leg in towards that right armpit, so not directly over your chest, but slightly outside. And then bringing your left hand to the outside of that right knee, stretch that right palm out from your shoulder. And on your next exhale, guide that left knee over your body into a twist. If you have a block or a blanket or a pillow and your knee doesn't meet the ground, you can always rest it on top of that. And then keeping your both shoulders firmly grounded. So it's not important if your knee's not meeting, just keep your shoulders there. All right, inhale, coming back to center, hugging both knees in. On your exhale, stretching that right leg down, pulling that left knee towards the left armpit. Nice compression here. And then bringing that right hand outside the knee, stretch that left palm out to the ground. Inhale, and on your exhale, stretching that left knee over. Again, you can use a blanket or a pillow or underneath your knee if that's comfortable. Maybe gazing over that left shoulder. On an inhale, coming back to center, hug both knees into your chest. One more time, maybe lift up, give your knees a little kiss, thank your body for this practice. And then when you're ready, bringing your feet back down to the mat and then stretching them out long in front of you. If you've got a blanket or a pillow, you can stretch it out on top of you or place it underneath your head. And then bring the back of your hands to meet the mat. Palms lift towards the sky in a gesture of receiving. If it helps, maybe scrunching your face, squeezing your toes, making a fist on your inhale, and on your exhale, letting it all go. Trying to release the tension and on the space between your eyebrows. Maybe swallowing that spit that gets stuck in the back of our throat, and then relaxing your jaw. Releasing any tension from your glutes, from your quads, allowing your toes to roll out. knowing that you have these next few minutes on your mat here in Shavasana to be present with yourself, with your body and your breath. Acknowledging any thoughts that may arise, not judging them, but just letting them go. Giving yourself these next few moments just to be. Maybe slowly bring some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes. And bringing a bend into your knees. Keeping your eyes closed, just roll to a comfortable side. We'll pause there, and today I just wanted to share with you a short quote from Osho, just about staying true to who you are and being who you are, and that being who you are and who you're meant to be is truly the best version of yourself. So what he says is that drop the idea of becoming someone, because you already are a masterpiece. You cannot be improved. You have only to come to it, to know it, and to realize it. So breathing that in, knowing that you already contain everything that you need within you. Keeping your eyes closed and using the strength of your arms on your exhale, just coming up to a comfortable seated position. On your inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing your thumbs to meet your third eye on the space between your brows. And gratitude pose. I'm grateful for this practice. I'm grateful for each and every one of you being here today, for showing up for this practice, for showing up for yourself. I'm grateful for the ability to connect through Zoom in this crazy time. So pulling that gratitude down to my heart center, I close our practice with the light and love in me, honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste.